What's up, everyone? It's Ruby here, bringing you guys another video. And I don't usually do stuff like this, but I might do stuff more like this more often. And that is, we have something to talk about. And I have many opinions to give for this situation. So this revolves around Bayonetta 3. You may have heard about some of the drama revolving around it. And even when the initial story broke, there were some thoughts that I had in my head, and more stuff has come out, and I have even more thoughts. And so right now I kind of want to just express those thoughts in a video and kind of get my, I think, reasonable perspective out there. I don't want this to be a drama channel. I'm not really I don't like drama at all. So what I think I'm going to do is that, for stories that I really have a true opinion about, that are video game related or comic book related, I think I will, do videos on them and kind of express my opinion. Because I do have that right. I just don't want this to turn into, a drama channel, or even really a news channel, to be honest. I'm not really about that type of thing. I normally just do gameplay, so I don't really do these types of videos, and I figured I would do it now, and just see kind of how it does, and also, I just want to try something new. So, we are going to be talking about Bayonetta 3. So, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to watch the first part of this story, which is Boycott Bayonetta 3. So, this is the full video that was on Twitter. It was 3 videos, but this is all smushed together, so it's all together. So, we're just going to watch it, and then I'm going to say my initial thoughts on the situation.
Hello, my name's Hellena Taylor.
Okay, so this is,
Hello, my name's Hellena Taylor, and I am the voice of Bayonetta.
This is very quiet.
And I would like to explain to you why I didn't voice Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta franchise made an approximated $400
Why is it so quiet?
million.
Oh, there we go.
That's not including merchandise. As an actor, I trained for a total of 7.5 years. 3 years at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, LAMDA, with voice coach Barbara Barkery, and 4.5 years with the legendary Larry Moss.
Okay, so she's got, she's saying that she has, a lot of experience.
What did they think this was worth? What did they offer to pay me? The final offer to do the whole game as a buyout, a flat rate, was $4,000 US.
We're gonna come back to this. But I will say that my initial thoughts of hearing that number is wow, that's low. Because $4,000 is something you usually, you pay, $4,000 is more like a side character, or someone who maybe is brand new to the industry. It's not really something that an experienced actor would be making. So it's very jarring to hear $4,000 is what allegedly was the final offer, especially at a flat rate. So basically she only gets $4,000. There's no interest, there's no royalties or anything like that. Now, I will say I'm not a complete expert on acting, voice acting and everything, but I do have some knowledge on how voice actors and actors are paid. I know that a lot of voice actors are unionized and in specific unions that basically argue for voice acting rights. There's the Voice Actors Guild, and there's other things. I know Tara Strong is part of that Voice Actor Guild, and I think also Jennifer Hale is part of that. A lot of voice actors are part of the Voice Actors Guild, which kind of helps them get paid more. Now, what's interesting is that, a year ago, I attended an event at my university where Tara Strong actually talked a little bit about this issue. It was basically just a talk at my university. She did a lot of talking. It's actually on this channel, the full recording of it. So if you guys want to check that out, it's a really interesting thing. It's not the highest quality, but it is really interesting hearing Tara Strong talk about voice acting, because it's very much voice acting focused. It's very much like art focused. So if you're ever interested in getting into voice acting, I highly recommend watching that video. I will link it down in the description below so that you guys can have access to it and kind of listen to it, because it's completely Tara Strong. It's not me, it's Tara Strong. It was just during a panel. It's audio only. There is no video because I was not recording like the video the entire time. I basically just had like the voice memo, and it was perfectly okay with her. So yeah, it was very interesting because I think hearing it from a veteran voice actor is very interesting, because you know that she has the experience. You know that she understands kind of the industry and how it works, because she has a long list of experience. And I think that is something to consider, is that it's not just about how much voice actors get paid, but it's also the number of gigs that they get. Most of the time, when you see voice actors and you look at their IMDb, you will see a lot of projects. Little side projects, current projects in development. Like, you usually have like a good lot of different ways that you get paid, because honestly, gig by gig, like this is true for a freelancer, right? You could do a freelancing project. Let's say you're a writer, like me. I write, okay? And I wanted to be a freelancing writer. And I set up, something, maybe I even set up like a Fiverr account. And I have like, it's like $10 per gig. I would not expect to only receive $10. I would expect to receive multiple, but that's depending on the number of gigs that you have. For sponsors, for example, you could have one sponsor pay you like, I don't know, let's say $300. But you would likely have multiple sponsors, or that company might be a repeat sponsor, so you might get not only $300 for that video, but also $300 for another video. And that adds up to be more of a reasonable pay. There are voice actors that only have a set amount of roles. Kevin Conroy only voices Batman. But the reason why he's able to get away with that is because, one, it's not his main income, and two, he's a very iconic voice. He has a lot of DC projects under him that are all Batman related, but it still shows the work. And I think the most important part is to treat it like a resume. Your IMDb page is like a resume. If you have years and years and years of experience voice acting in multiple roles, that is the key to getting paid a lot of money. Because the key is that it's not enough to just be good at voice acting in one role. You need to be versatile. You need to be able to be cast in multiple areas. So even if you are the iconic voice of one character, it's not enough to say you are worth spending money on, because, you need to be able to show that you are able to voice multiple characters, are able to adapt to voice directions, and, that's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And again, I highly recommend checking out the video about Tara Strong, because she really has a lot of interesting insight on voice acting, and just everything in general. It's really fascinating. So I definitely recommend checking that out. Let's continue, though.
This is an insult to me.
$4,000 is low.
That I took.
But we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that because
my talent.
We'll come back to
everything that I have given to this game and to the fans. I am asking the fans to boycott this game and instead spend the money that you would have spent on this game donating it.
I have mixed feelings about that. The request to boycott. Because when you ask for a boycott, it's serious. Because you will have people that automatically jump on board no matter what the full story is. It's just enough for them to say, oh, please boycott this. And people will. In fact, there are many people who started showing receipts of them canceling their pre-order. And the thing is, if what she says in this video is not true at all, anything that she says in the video, if any part of it is not true, she could very easily get sued for defamation. Because there is actual grounds for damage that it has been done and probably won't be reversed in terms of sales. And that is a very big deal. Especially when it comes to Nintendo and even Platinum Games. Like, the other thing is that companies will not want to work with you if you are like, if you were the cause of a company losing a lot of money. Companies will not want to work with you. And I'm concerned because if Hellena Taylor is saying that she isn't getting paid enough or whatever, requesting for a boycott is the last thing she wants to do, because there is not going to be a single company that is AAA that will ever want to hire her again. And that's just the facts. Because it's just like if you are a person who like, how do I put this? It's kind of like if you sue a company. If you try to sue a company for, something, and then you go and try to be a customer again, that company is not going to want to do business with you because you just tried to sue them. Like, you didn't have the right to sue them, and you tried to sue them. They're not going to want to work with you anymore because they don't want to be sued again. It's kind of like with that situation. And the fact that she did this so publicly is honestly concerning because there was damage done. Not only to Nintendo and Platinum Games, but also other people involved in this. Because you have to understand that Hellena Taylor is not the only one who is getting paid for this, right? Or whatever. She's not the only one who has something to lose in this. There are hundreds of people who work for these companies who did absolutely nothing, who have absolutely no control over who gets paid what, right? There's only really like one or two people that decide those numbers. And it's not a majority of those people who are going to be affected by this boycott. Because people will be affected by this boycott, and it's something that you really want to be careful with as someone who has any sort of power or any sort of influence. You really want to be careful with your words. Because it's one thing to say this is a problem and voicing, you have every right to do that. You do not have the right to potentially lie and manipulate people into believing some sort of way and then they, as a result, do damages to that company. Because there are some things that could technically be contested of whether or not it is true. And if it is not true, she's honestly done. She's done. Even if she doesn't lose all of her money, she's done. She's done. She's just done. Like, I get the intent, but those are dangerous words. Those are very dangerous words, especially when dealing with big companies who don't mess around with this stuff. And they likely have connections to other... everybody saw this, right? So even if I'm not Nintendo, let's say I'm Bethesda Game Studios, and I'm looking for a voice actor. And I know I'm looking at this voice actor, and she has a public video of her telling people to boycott this game. I am not going to want to hire her. Because I would be afraid, if I do something wrong, she's going to ask people to boycott this game, and I'm going to lose money. So I might as well go with a different voice actor who won't do that. Not to say that you don't have the right to, petition or do anything like that, but there is a line. There is a line of which, yes, you do have the right to do these things, but there are consequences that will follow, and they are not pretty consequences at all.
I didn't want the world. I didn't ask for too much. I was just asking for a decent, dignified living wage. What they did was legal, but it was immoral. Now, those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I'm more of a lover than a fighter, and sometimes think I'm not very much like Bayonetta at all, but I guess I am a little bit more like Bayonetta than I thought. I understand that boycotting this game is a personal choice, and there are those that won't, and that's fine. But if you're someone who cares about people, who cares about the world around you, who cares about who gets hurt with these financial decisions, then I urge you to boycott this game.
Again, not a good decision to make. Because she's getting away from the facts of the situation and turning it into a guilt trip. She is saying that if you do not boycott this game, you are a terrible person. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. That's what she said. And that is an absolute no. You cannot do that. You are using your power and influence, and you are telling people that you have to do this. You have to boycott in order to be a decent person. That is not okay. Not at all. Because those are serious words, first of all. And second of all, everyone has the right to make the decision of whether or not they're going to boycott or not. And this is a situation, this right here is a situation where Nintendo could very well argue that this is defamation. Because she is blatantly manipulating people, consumers, into canceling their games, into returning their orders, into boycotting the game. And that is a horrible thing to say. And a horrible way to... That's a very bad, very, very bad way to handle it. Yes, you can ask for a boycott, but you cannot use manipulation in order to get that boycott. You can say, I got paid an unfair amount, unreasonable, this is how much I got paid, and I'm asking you to boycott. Fine. You cannot turn that around and be like, you are a terrible person if you don't boycott. Because that is manipulation. That is... It's using her power as a celebrity, as a voice actor, as someone people care about, and turning it into something that it is not. Okay? No one murdered anybody. No one hurt anybody. I mean, yes, you could technically say the amount that she claims to have been paid is not enough, but you cannot say that that is a crime against humanity, because it is not. It is not a crime against humanity. It is not one of those, like, unforgivable things. Like, I'm sure it is a low number, and yes, that should be fixed. But this is not the way to do it. It is not going to achieve anything at all.
I decided to do it to stand up in solidarity with people all over the world who do not get paid properly for their talents.
That's also weird. That's also, I mean, yes, okay, people should be paid more, but she is saying that anyone who gets paid a low amount, she is speaking for them. She even brings up nurses, and not just low paid voice actors, but like nurses and like just low paying jobs in general. But my argument is, low paying jobs are necessary in order to have the sort of economy that we do. Like, you don't stay in those low paying jobs. You move up the chains. And yes, there are certain places where they should get paid more. But this is not the way to solve that situation. I would love to be paid more money, but there are ways to do that, and there are ways that are just not going to help, and even might damage your chances of getting more money in the future. If people that Hollywood in general, and the casting sort of thing, they are very particular about the people that they want, and the types. They're ruthless. Like, she 100% will get so much backlash for this. Not from people, but from companies. They will not want to hire her at all after this. I would be shocked if any company, any game company, any even animated company wants to hire her, because she not only is asking for a boycott, but she's asking it in an unreasonable way. Like yes, it's sad that she didn't get paid the amount that she wanted to be paid. But that is not the reason why you should feel compelled to boycott a game. There are many reasons why you should boycott a game. And yes, Nintendo is not a great company to work for. But there's nothing in the situation that is related to what she's saying. Like,
fat cats cream off the top and leave us the rotten crumbs. You know, in England right now, there are nurses going to food banks to feed their children. This is not right. This is not acceptable. It impacts mental health. Because of it, I suffered from depression and anxiety. I worried that I was going to be on the streets. That terrified me so much that once I was suicidal. I am not afraid of the non-disclosure agreement. I can't even afford to run a car. What are they going to do? Take my clothes?
Those are very dangerous words to say. Because she not only admits that she has an NDA that she just broke, but she's also taunting them. She just taunted them. She was like, what are they going to do? I'm breaking the law. What are they going to do? There are many things that they can do. The fact that she's able to record this video shows that she does have money. She does have things to lose. They can 100% sue her over this. They can claim defamation. They can claim NDA breaking. Like, there are so many things they can get her on. Those are very dangerous words to say, especially to a company like Nintendo, who is ruthless with their lawsuits. Nintendo is the same company who will sue a YouTuber for using a 5-second clip of their song. They are not someone who cares about your financial state or whatever you're in. They will still drain every single penny from you. And the fact that you are willing to taunt them over this and be like, what are you gonna do? You can't touch me. Oh, yes, they can. And it is not going to be pretty when they do.
Good luck to them. Bayonetta always stands up for those with less power and stands up for what is right. And in doing this, you stand with her.
Again, guilt tripping. Manipulating.
For those of you who are interested, I'd like to go into a little more detail about the back and forth.
This is the part where she should not have included. She should not have included this.
Required to audition again, because sometimes voices change with time. So I auditioned for the role and obviously passed with flying colours. They then sent me an insulting offer. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to write to Hideki Kimiya. I'm going to write to him.
Okay, first of all, Hideki Kimiya is the last person you want to email. So,
I have a friend who is in business in Japan to write in Japanese.
He's the same guy who blocks everybody on the internet.
I know he read it because I got a reply. I got a reply saying that he values greatly my contribution to the game and that the fans really want me to voice it over, and the memory of first meeting me as Bayonetta is a memory I hold dear. So I thought, great, thank God. That was when they offered me $4,000 US. Do you know, Platinum had the cheek to say that I was busy, that they couldn't make it work with Miss Taylor's schedule.
That's just PR.
Well, I had nothing but time.
That's just PR.
They now have...
That's just them being polite and that's just public relations 101.
I wish her all the joy in the world. I wish her all the jobs, but she has no right to say she is the voice of Bayonetta. I created that voice. She has...
This is a problem. Actually, let's just play this out, because I will go on a full-ass rant. Let's just let it play. Let's just let it play, and then we'll talk about it.
I was her parrot on the video game The Golden Compass. That portrayal is hers and hers alone.
Absolutely not.
They'll probably try and do a spin-off with Jan. Don't buy that either. So, to Kimiya, presidents of Nintendo, and all other fat cats around the world, I would like to quote to you from the greatest moral teacher who ever lived, Jesus Christ, from his parable of Lazarus and the rich man.
Wait, I didn't even know that this was a thing. You know what? We're just gonna oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't even know that part was a thing. No one has ever covered that. Okay, but okay. Let's say I agree with you. Yeah, sure. $4,000 is not great. And yeah, sure. You should get paid more. And yeah, sure. You can even request a boycott. But holy shit. Oh my god. There are so many things wrong with that last clip. Not the last thing. But that last clip. There are so many things wrong with that I fundamentally don't agree with. And even have a very big problem with. Because this The only person she should be mad at is maybe Kimiya and like Nintendo and like the higher ups. Those are the only people. Those are the only people that decide who gets paid what. Jennifer Hale has nothing to do with this. Nothing. Okay? Not only did she probably not even know that this was happening, and not only is she she cannot speak on this because she's an NDA contract, but at the same time, she has no obligation at all, to Helena Taylor. She has nothing. She also needs to get paid, okay? She also has a job. She has a job. She can accept and decline roles as she pleases. Like, oh my gosh. There's so much wrong. There is so much wrong with this. First of all, claiming the fact that you made a voice and therefore no one else can voice it would be like that would be the equivalent of Kevin Conroy saying no one else can sign for Batman because I created his voice, which Kevin Conroy would never say. That's also the same as Jennifer Hale saying, oh, no one else can voice Shepard, no one else can sign for Shepard. Like, there is an art to voice acting. One of the beautiful things about voice acting is you don't have to worry about anyone's appearance. You don't. Anyone could be behind that voice, and they could sound like anything. And that is the art of voice acting, is that anyone can be their role. These characters are ageless. An actor who voices Superman could die, and Superman can still exist because another voice actor would take its place. You can never claim, I don't care who you are, you can never claim ownership of a voice like that. Like, yes, Mark Hamill is the Joker in my eyes. Kevin Conroy is the Batman in my eyes. But just because I favor those voice actors doesn't mean I think that no one else can voice them. Because you know what? Sometimes you have gemstones that, even though they're not them, still bring something to the role. Like, Tim Daly originally voiced Superman in the animated series. But then in Justice League, what's his name? I just blanked on his name. Who? I forgot. I know it. Sorry. George Newbern, that's what it is. George Newbern voiced Superman in Justice League. And both voice actors are amazing in their roles. But neither one could claim, Tim Daly isn't like, I can't, George Newbern can't sign as Superman because I'm the one who created that voice. That doesn't make any sense. There is no voice actor, there is no actor who would ever claim that. Who would ever claim, oh, you can't be this role because I am that role. That is me. No, it is not. Like, unless it's maybe, like, based on your likeness. Like, that I can understand. But there should never be a stifling of the art. And by the way, because of this, Jennifer Hale has gotten so much, like, so many people after her. because of the words that Hellena Taylor used. And that is horrible. That is horrible. Because she doesn't deserve that. Okay, she did nothing wrong in this situation. There is nothing that she did. She accepted, she got a job request. She accepted it. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And what is she going to do anyways? She's under an NDA. She's under so many contracts. It's too late. Even if she does regret it, it's too late. And then there's another situation. There's another problem to this situation. By the way, Jennifer Hale, amazing woman, did comment on this. She said, with regards to Bayonetta 3, as a longtime member of the voice acting community, I support every actor's right to be paid well, and have advocated consistently for this for years. Anyone who knows me, or has followed my career, will know that I have great respect for my peers, and I am an advocate for all members of the community. I am under an NDA, and I am not at liberty to speak regarding this situation. My reputation speaks for itself. I sincerely ask that everyone keep in mind that this game has been created by an entire team of hardworking, dedicated people, and I hope everyone will keep an open mind about what they've created. Finally, I hope that everyone involved may resolve their differences in an amicable and respectful way. With love and respect to you all, Jennifer Hale. That, she didn't even have to say that, okay? I mean, in a way she did because of PR reasons, but she did not have to say that. And she actually brings up very good advice, very good points. You know, she is the most tactful way that you can handle this situation. It's just being like, I respect everyone, I hope everyone is okay, but I can't say anything. I can't do anything. I'm contractually obligated not to say anything. It's like... And, by the way, I'm sure Jennifer Hale is getting paid more than $4,000. But that isn't a problem. Because Jennifer Hale is a very different person from Hellena Taylor. Because when you compare the two resumes, as I said, Jennifer Hale has a lot more experience. And she also is more versatile. Like I said, versatility is a very important aspect. There is a chance that Jennifer Hale isn't just going to be voicing just one character anyways. I'm sure the Bayonetta is like the only voice that Hellena Taylor is voicing, right? Oftentimes in these situations, you get casted for multiple things. And also there's this article, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I do want to bring this up because this video is running a little bit long anyways, but I do want to bring this point up. So allegedly, oh, it's under a paywall. Okay. Shit. Goddamn. Okay, basically the summary of this is that apparently $4,000 is not correct. That was not the final offer. It is actually more like $15,000, which is a big difference. That is a huge difference. Huge difference. And so that is where I think there's going to be a problem here. Because it's too late. Hellena Taylor already made the damages that have been done. $15,000 is a lot of money. For one gig, that's a lot of money. That is much more reasonable than $4,000. But also considering that even though, yes, Bayonetta 3 is a very successful franchise, and yes, like, voice actors should be paid more. Sure. There's a lot of jobs that should be paid more. But don't. And There's a way to get paid more, and that's called joining a union. Unions will have your back and negotiate for you and make sure that you're being treated nicely. I just want to do this one quick thing, and then we'll end the video. Because I've pretty much said everything that I want, but I do want to do this one thing. I want to look at their IMDB pages and compare the two. Because I think there is actually a big difference between the two of them. I mean, there is. There's no debating it. Okay. So, let's first take a look at this, which is Hellena Taylor's IMDb. So she first started in 1992, and then she had a role in 1993, 1994, okay, so multiple years of experience, sure. Although these aren't really major roles, they still count as something. 2004, 2006, 2007, okay, so she has some experience. But then we get to here. 2009 is Bayonetta. They have one for Dragon Age Origins. You can kind of see that there's kind of a big problem here. Her last gig was 2014. It's 2022. And then let's compare Jennifer Hale. Jennifer Hale has been voice acting for a while, first of all. I mean, you can see what the best way to assess an actor and what they're worth is just look at the things that they've done in the past 10 years, maybe 5, maybe 20 years. Just look at this. Treat this like a resume. If someone gave you this resume and is like, I have 3 decades, a century worth of experience. These are the lineups that I have. I did Commander Shepard. I did Killer Frost, Giganta. I was in the DC universe. I was on the Nickelodeon, Disney. I did so many fucking roles. This is a person who is worth a lot of money, because not only have they shown that they are very versatile, because they have 5,000 different roles, but also they show that they're willing to work and willing to work consistently. And that is also another thing that is very valuable. Then you look at Hellena Taylor, and the last job she's had is in 2014. Well, no wonder she can't afford anything, because she hasn't worked for at least 6 years, at least 8 years. 8 years without any working experience? Okay, -2 because of COVID. 6 years. 6 years not working. That is a big deal. That is a very big deal when discussing what somebody is worth. If you've only worked once in the past 10 years, let me just show you. Because there are actors that only have a certain amount of roles that they voice. Like Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy is worth a lot. But even then, you can look at this resume. He only voices, Batman. He pretty much only voices Batman for a while. Ignore this. Looking at this, from 1992 and up, or whatever, 1992 and up, if you look at this, all of these are for the same role, right? Batman, Bruce Wayne. But there's so many of them. And also, there's also, extra roles in between. It's yes, there's a lot of the same role, but it's a lot of the same role in different projects. And that is a very important distinction. You can voice just one role, But if it's only in like one show, then it's not really going to show you much. But if it's in like 30,000 different projects, yeah, then you get paid more, because then you only have the working experience, but you also show that you can work with multiple people, multiple companies, multiple teams. You're easily adaptable. It still shows versatility. And then, like I said, I did this whole thing with Tara Strong, like, right? Let's look at Tara Strong's IMDb, just to get sort of an idea of these voice actors. Like, Tara Strong's definitely not poor. But, I think it's definitely an important thing to factor in, is that the work experience and how versatile somebody is, right? Yeah, she created a voice. That is amazing. That is iconic. But it's not enough to say, I created this voice, let me voice it for any amount of money. Like, no, that's not how that works. So Tara Strong, let's look at this. You can see, she has a role literally every single year. Every single year. For the past, 20 years. She has one for there's so many years. She has experience for every single year. Every single year. Every single year. Hundreds, tens, 20s of roles. It's like, there's a lot of experience here. There's a lot of work here. And I think, to wrap it up, look, I get it. Being paid a low amount of money hurts. But there's a way, like at first, when I first heard this, I'm like, that's absurd. That is absolutely absurd, because that's like $2 an hour. But what I thought this was a role that took months to record for, because voice acting can take a while. And then also I thought, well, there's a lot of things that I thought that I think everyone else kind of thought at the same time. Like I thought this was a month's worth of work. Apparently, this was done in 2 days, which $4,000 for is actually not bad at all. $4,000 a week, that's not actually unreasonable. That's not unreasonable at all. I mean, $4,000 a year. Yeah, that's horrible. That's $2 per hour. But also, voice actors aren't paid per hour. They're paid per gig. So there's also another thing. So, I don't know how to end this. I think that this is not going to end well at all for Hellena Taylor. And I think that it definitely is important to kind of understand the full context of things, because out of context, yes, this sounds terrible, but there are so many things that Hellena Taylor did wrong in this situation that makes it hard to be on her side. It makes it really hard to be on her side. I can never agree. Never agree with that last take that she had about, oh, I made this voice, no one else can voice them, no one else can. First of all, she acts like Jennifer Hale couldn't just make her own voice Bayonetta, because she definitely could 100% do that. But also, it's you're not gonna voice the character, someone else is. This isn't shocking. Someone else was always going to voice that character because you declined that role. It sounds like she's more bitter that she just didn't get the role. that they were like, you know what, we're just gonna move on. Like, I think, I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know if you guys watched the full thing or not. I know this was a lot longer than I thought it would be, but I felt it very important to talk about, and maybe we'll do more of these. We'll see. Anyways, leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, guys. It's been a blast. Bye.